And so it comes to this, the final End of Wii Shop. Back in September of 2017, Nintendo announced that they were slowly phasing away the Wii Shop channel on the original Wii console before killing it entirely. March 26, 2018 saw the end of Wii Points, at which point Wii owners would no longer be able to procure additional points so that they could purchase games from the Wii Shop, thus effectively killing Wii Shop as a marketplace unless you had some points left over to spend. From then on, the Wii Shop's only other purpose for existing was to download all your online purchases to your Wii console or appropriate memory card, or make use of the Wii to Wii U transfer tool so you could transfer all your Wii stuff to a Wii U console if you have one of those laying around, before the Wii Shop channel service would eventually close up shop for good on January the 30th, 2019. Assuming everything goes according to plan, this would be today, the day this video is being uploaded, signifying the end of an era, if you will. The Wii Shop channel was Nintendo's digital service for the original Nintendo Wii console, and was perhaps, to me at least, a vital component to the overall package. Sure, the system's main gimmick was its motion-controlled Wii Remote and nunchuck accessories, and that was perhaps the main selling point for that generation, but Wii Shop provided owners with a little more meat to the package if that gimmick didn't do much for you. And the motion controls certainly didn't do much for me. Sure, playing Wii Sports and a couple other party games were all fun and dandy, but after a while it starts to lose its appeal. And that's where Wii Shop stepped into the mix and offered the one aspect that appealed to me personally more than anything: the growing selection of virtual console releases. For a few bucks, you could download classic titles from not only the NES, Super NES, and N64 libraries, but also games from former rival consoles such as the Sega Genesis, the TurboGrafx-16, the Sega Master System, and for a short time there were even Commodore 64 titles available on the market, of which I was able to get one, Tower Toppler. And this had a certain appeal for me because not only would I be able to replay classics from my youth that I haven't played in years, but also have access to a library of games that I've never touched before. It was through Wii Virtual Console that I was able to experience many of the great TurboGrafx and PC Engine games like the multitude of shooters, the original Dracula X game, that one Street Fighter II game with the black bar on top, and some other titles of note. It was through Wii Virtual Console that I got to experience some of the better 16-bit titles that I missed out on the first time around, like Secret of Mana, Musha, Wild Guns, Axlay, even some import titles like Euphoria, Pulseman, and Bomberman 94. Generally speaking, I got quite a bit of mileage out of that Virtual Console service. That's probably the one thing I spent the most time on. And then there was WiiWare, the original games section of the Wii Shop, which I didn't get as much value from because most of them were pointer games or little games that I didn't really care for. But there were some games that appealed to me that I'm happy to have bought and played. Naturally, the two retro-themed Mega Man games come to mind, with number 9 being the trigger that made me fork over money for a Wii console, the Konami Rebirth series of titles like Contra Rebirth and Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth, which, by the way, wasn't available on the other consoles, so that's a plus for me. The Master Blaster sequel, spin-off, remake, whatever you want to call it. Hell, I even got Final Fantasy IV The After Years on Wii, but none of the DLC because the game turned out to be shit, but that's another story for another time. As a Wii owner who still games on the console to this very day every now and then, it's sad to see a significant part of the console go away in short order. And while there has been, and no doubt there will be, further discussions on the pros and cons of digital distribution, that's not what this rambling is all about. This is a tribute of sorts to something that has enhanced my Wii gaming experience and opened the door to a plethora of titles I wouldn't have gotten around to playing one way or another. And so we close the door on the Wii Shop channel for good. Thanks for the memories, it's been a fun ride, but now it's time to move on to other things, like the PlayStation old stuff. But that's another story for another time. Good night, everybody.